Hey fellow viewers, welcome back to K Job's Views. I cannot wait to get into this review because this is one of the better time reviews that will come out contemporaneous somewhat with the movie release. This one's going to be about Mortal Kombat, the 2021 recent release to HBO Max via Warner Brothers, also available in theaters, released April, what would this be, like the 24th weekend. So we're going to get into that, but before we do, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell someone to share again about me. All right, so for those who don't know, and there's a good generation who may not know, Mortal Kombat is based off of a video game back in the Sega Genesis days. That was this incredible cult-like fighting game that involved Earth warriors and other realm warriors fighting in this big Mortal Kombat tournament to be the best warrior in all the realms, right? So the movie is based off that video game, and there was a 1995 movie based off that video game, which, if you haven't already checked social media, is being compared very heavily to the 2021 movie. I disagree with that comparison, and I'll get into that once I get into the review. Right, so the synopsis is basically there's this tournament that has been waged for centuries between all these different realms. Earth is not the only realm, and this other realm called Otherworld wants to take over Earth, and if they win 10 competitions in a row, they get to invade Earth and enslave human beings, right? So Mortal Kombat is when Earth champions get to fight and defend Earth from being invaded and enslaved. And that's the synopsis of Mortal Kombat, both the video game and the movie, right? Okay, so let's get into the review. So, number one, I want to approach why I think it's not good business to compare this movie to the 1995 movie. One is a fighting action movie. By comparison, 2021 is going to be better because we just have access to better technology. So I think in saying that 1995 will be better for any action movie is you're kind of already just, I feel like you would have to be saying that this movie is so bad, you would ignore the graphical and technical differences between 20 plus years of technology in favor for an older movie, and I just don't buy that, not for an action movie at least. Also, I think it's improper to compare this one to the other one or even favor the prior 1995 movie is because Mortal Kombat necessarily, inherently involves a lot of Asian culture and Asian characters. And the 1995 one was very white, as were many movies back then. As we all know, Hollywood did not do a very good job of hiring actors to match the ethnicity of the characters. So I think in the fact that you're getting Asian actors actually playing Asian characters, this is already the better movie, right? That's out of the way. Now that that's out of the way, realistically, review-wise, it's not a great movie. It's good. Let's put it this way. So I think the movie started out very strong. I think the introduction was awesome. It was a great setup, action-packed, cool, boom. And then just, I don't know what happened. I think Warner Brothers is having an editing or writing issue because they seem to keep leaving out parts that would make a story make more sense. Like, so in this case, and we're kind of getting into spoilers, I guess, here. In this case, the main character, I already forget his name. I forget his name already. But the main character is approached by Jax at his gym on the day of a fighting. And then later on that night, Jax comes to essentially save him and his family from Sub-Zero attacking. But then from that, Jax goes to fight Sub-Zero, and the main protagonist suddenly just automatically believes Jax, trusts everything he's saying, knows that he has to protect his family from this being, which he hasn't even identified. Like, it just is, there's this huge leap of faith, or realistically leap of writing and story, from the protagonist being attacked by Sub-Zero to understanding he needs to be part of the Mortal Kombat squad. Like I don't know if it was a pacing issue, if they just really needed to get to the crux of the movie, but that was seriously lacking. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, like the 15-minute introduction was great, and then the 45 minutes after that was just kind of like, why are you doing this? You know, like it just didn't make a lot of sense. That aside, once you get past the fact that there's this kind of leap of faith, or like even there, and there was actually another plot hole with this, because Jax gave the protagonist Sonya Blade's address to go to be safe, and the protagonist drops his family off somewhere and then goes to Sonya, and it's completely not even mentioned where he's dropping his family off or why they would be safe at this other place before he goes to Sonya. I don't know, that whole, like, again, that whole 20 to 30 minutes part really didn't make a lot of sense. Not gonna lie, the acting's not great in this movie, but the first original movie, not that we're comparing, also had pretty shitty acting. So the acting wasn't terrible in this movie. It's just, you know, I mean, it's Mortal Kombat. We're not really watching for acting. What we are watching for, or what people familiar with the game and all that, lovers of the game, are going to be familiar with, and what they will enjoy in this movie is the references. Like, you get a flawless victory, you get a fatality, you get a animality, I forget the name of it, but when they turn into an animal or would have an animal attack, you get that stuff. You get those references. You get Your Soul Is Mine from Shang Tsung. You get a lot of that. They do a decent job of the whole transferring of when you beat a character, you get kind of, you're now a Mortal Kombat fighter. So like if you watch the original or kind of know Mortal Kombat folklore, you know that, for example, Sonya Blade wasn't like a combat character. She didn't have any kind of special abilities. She was just really good military combat trained. But then later on, in one of the other iterations of the Mortal Kombat video game, she does have abilities. And this movie kind of does a good job of tying up how she would get that. So again, for your cultural references, for your taglines, for your characters that you like to watch, this can be good. There was a heavy focus on Kano, which I don't recall ever being a character people really like, so I'm not sure why they got his character to carry this movie, but his character does a decent job of carrying the movie. Again, so like, I think a lot of people also who are familiar with the video game will be looking for a Scorpion Sub-Zero significant matchup, which they do have, but it's at the tail end of the movie. And I think they did do a decent job of kind of showing the Sub-Zero Scorpion, I don't know, not rivalship, but kind of rivalship. I mean, it's in the introductory, and then we get it again at the end. And I think the fight scenes were great. Well, not great, but the fight scenes were really good. The cultural references were really good. The acting was, I mean, it's a Mortal Kombat movie. I'm not expecting much there. And the story, once you got past the huge gap or whatever, I don't know what that was just really poor. And again, that's why I think it has to be editing, because your basic viewer would have been like, wait, why is he all of a sudden just going with this plan? Like, he just met these people, and why did these people know so much when one of them's not even a chosen fighter? Like, I don't know. It was again, getting the transition from the beginning to him being trained, or the crux of the Mortal Kombat. That part was really poorly done, or written, or edited, or something. The rest of the story kind of flows. Flows as much as the Mortal Kombat story flows. The fatalities, like I said, cool. Brutality, the animality, the references, the moves, they do their signature moves. So like, all that's cool. And again, we're in a pandemic. We're in a pandemic where I think most people are streaming movies anyways. So I mean, if you had to pay for this, you'd probably be very pissed off. But not paying for it, you're fine. You get your nostalgia ultra, and you move on with life. So I don't know. That was my review of Mortal Kombat. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was very honest. So there's that. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll check you guys on the next view.